To be online in 5. Now we are online. Regan and hi. So close yet so far.
I'm telling you, right in the same city.
Yeah, we're in the same city, and I miss you. I didn't see you for so long, like few days.
So long. Oh my goodness. How many hours?
How are you doing?
I'm very good. Keeping
Are
very
you going
busy.
to start some
Also,
moves?
yeah. Well, today was some dancing and some DJing and just
Yeah, I
connecting
saw. I
with
saw
people.
Facebook Live. I saw you DJing. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I also had my own live session just before I came on with you. So I hope that I don't ask any questions that were already asked while I was busy on the other side. So we'll see what we can come up with today.
No problem. If someone wants to see your sessions, where do they go? How do they follow you?
Just need to follow Paradiso Academy. We're on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Tons and tons of free content on our YouTube channel where you can learn how to dance. You know, if you've got weddings coming up or whatever, and you want to get some moves on the dance floor, then just come over to our social medias, and we'll help you out and give you a right foot. If you've got two left feet, I'll make one of them right.
Yeah, Regan is the best teacher ever. I've been studying with him how to dance, learning with him how to dance, and from time to time there are people that coming from overseas. He brings all kind of like really professional people, but he's much better. And every time we go to one of those kind of workshop and so on, with this amazing, supposedly good teacher, that amazing dancers, don't get me wrong, unbelievable dancers, but no one teaches like Regan. No one understands dancing like him. He understands the mechanics, and when he shows you something, it is like you cannot not be professional. It's like 100% unbelievable. So I admire him.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Yeah. So ask me questions. What are we talking about today?
Well, I just have 4 questions for you. You know,
I'm counting. Don't go above 4. Yes.
yeah, it's been very, very interesting times. You know, here in South Africa, we've had some news that came through about our ruling party in our province. I don't know what you call a province in the US or in Canada, or
State.
whatever.
It's the equivalent of a state.
There we go. Yeah, in our state, the ruling government in our state wanted to propose a new ruling that will give the police the right to enter into people's homes and into their vehicles and basically search people on the spot with no warrant needed. And you know, I guess my question is, you know, when the world is in like a state of emergency, and you know, it always seems to be that governments try to push some kind of rulings that actually remove the rights and the civil liberties of people. And I just wanted to know what your feeling was around that.
I think that the governments, from their viewpoints, are totally right, and they will want to do that. And I understand the viewpoint. The problem is not the government. The problem is a society that agrees to not have their own opinion shaped by themselves. When you agree to be brainwashed by media, by social media, by opinion leaders, by people, when you are willing to be brainwashed, you stop observing. So the only problem that I see is that people are not looking. So when something like that happens, it means that most of the people for a long time stop controlling their life. You understand? There's no situation where a group goes insane if the group itself, the group members, did not agree for a while. And and in any group there is different opinions, and when they start to push who said instead of what was said, you know that something is wrong. Now, how do you know that someone is lying to you? I think I spoke about it in one of the other Facebook lives. How do you know that someone lies to you? You know that someone lies to you when he starts to attack you and don't handle the subject. When someone starts to attack you personally and don't handle the subject, you know the guy is lying to you. Yes? So when the government start to attack you, you know they're lying to you. When the government, now there's another indication that you as a person, you should look, and again, I'm not getting into who is right, who is wrong. I'm just giving you the basic laws of this universe. In this universe, when someone lies to you, he wants to control you. So if your wife lies to you, she wants to control you. She wants to control your thinking. She doesn't want you to look there. She wants you to look there. So she lies to you. Mm-hmm. But if someone wants to control you, he always lies to you. When someone tries to control you, you need to know that he lies to you, because otherwise he will be totally willing for you to have your opinion, and he will ask for your opinion and will direct you. So for example, when parents lie to their children, they're telling them, you know, if you will not study, you will not be successful. That's a total lie, yes? If you will not eat, you will not grow. All kind of lies that parents give to the children is because they want to control them. Mm-hmm. And then they feel that they need to control them even more because they don't want to eat. But the problem is not that they don't want to eat, it's because they lie to them. That's why they want to control them. Right. You know my kids, I don't control them. I ask for their opinion. Yeah. Ask for the opinion, and I teach them how to look at data. And at the end, I tell them, you make your own decision. What is right for you, what is wrong for you. You want to smoke? Not a problem, have the data. You decided to smoke? Go for it. You decide not to smoke? Go for it. I don't tell them what is right and what is wrong, because I've looked at my birth certificate and it was not saying God there. When I'm born, they didn't say that I'm God. Yeah. So maybe God can tell you what's right and what's wrong. I don't think that a human being can tell you what's right, what's wrong. You need to be able to look for yourself.
Yes.
So the problem of searching and this kind of draconian laws, the law is not the problem. The problem is we, the people, are sleeping. We need to wake up. Each one of us needs to do something, and each one of us secretly think that he's too small to affect what's going on. Yeah. Each one of us secretly think, what can I do about it? What you can do about it, you can communicate. Don't ever misestimate the voice of one person. Don't ever misestimate it, because your voice plus another voice plus another voice plus another voice, and all of a sudden someone will raise up and you will think that he was special. No, it is the combined voices of all those people that say something that actually gave him the platform to talk from. Okay? Any other questions?
Good, thank you. So then, I'm just reading my questions here, so
no problem.
So the next one was, people are very disconnected at the moment. You cannot even see the smiles behind the masks, and the world is a very lonely place. Especially here in Cape Town, where everyone is so friendly and beautiful all the time. It is really strange to not have the connection with people that we usually have. So add to this, the many social justice warriors have become snitches, for lack of a better word. And they're broadcasting their views about people breaking the laws, reporting their neighbors to authorities. And I would like to know, how should we deal with such people when they have chosen the side of their masters, while some of us choose to follow common sense?
Okay, good. So first of all, overall, no, always I suggest to follow the law of the land. Even if the law is stupid, you can fight the law within the law. Why? Because if you don't do that, first of all, you open yourself to an attack by the government. And second, who make you above the law that you can say that law is stupid and that law is not? So a democracy should have within it the mechanism to correct incorrect laws. And again, it goes back to the same thing of one person can make a difference, okay? Now, how will I look at social distancing and how will I look at all of that if I want to form my opinion if it's right or if it's wrong, okay? So I will ask people, what do we want as people? To communicate more or less? I think that most people will say more communication. Why? You are as alive as you can communicate. When a person is dead, he will not communicate anymore, yes? So the first thing that I will say, we need to look at indication what is right and what is wrong on here and set up or design our view and have such a certainty that our certainty alone will bring about the change. So first of all, it's better to communicate than not to communicate, okay? Second, it's better to be together than alone. It's better to be together than alone. So anyone that tells me that people need to be away from each other is actually wants to divide and conquer. This is really what's happening, divide and conquer. You divide by distance, you divide by cutting communication. And the last thing that you do is you bring about disagreement because people that don't agree don't communicate. People that don't agree don't communicate and they want to go away from each other. So our job, if I don't agree with someone, my job is to restore agreement and to restore communication. How? By really understanding the other side and understanding that from their viewpoint, they want to help me. So yes, I don't think that they're right to go and snitch, but I think it is that I need to keep the law of the land. So I see my responsibility so I can see their viewpoint, yes? And if I would really communicate in such a way that I will first of all understand them, they will start to hear me. But if I will not understand them, they'll say, oh, that's so stupid, they're snitches there. How can they do that? What are they? Don't see that. What I will do is what they do to me, just from the other side. In general, in relationship, there's something quite fascinating in relationship. When I do something, it seems that it's not so bad. But when someone do it to me, it seems that it's terrible. So if someone come to me and say, yeah, don't go, and I think that he goes and he go to the police and say, well, I saw him going out and he snitched on me, yes? I think that it's not okay, yes? But if I go and I tell about him that he's stupid to my friend, it's okay. But it's also snitching, yes? Mm-hmm. So really the key is to be able to see the other person's viewpoint, get to an agreement, and get him to change his viewpoint, not fight with him. Okay?
Yeah.
Next question.
Okay, thank you. You've answered another one of my questions, so I guess this is my final question.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I'm keeping it very much on the political side of things because everything is all a lot of science these days, and not a lot of looking at politics and these types of things, and so that's why I'm really kind of coming at that angle. So there's a lot of talk about 5G and that sort of thing, and I believe that 5G is really just a new version of communication that we can use for a lot of benefit, actually. But I guess, my question is, what is your feeling about the potential weaponization of 5G in the use of mass surveillance?
Okay. So first of all, we need to understand what does it mean 5G And there is some basic principles that people need to understand. So transmitting in very high frequency has been going on this planet since the 1940s, something like that, 1945, something like that. So radar has been invented, and when radar has been invented, they started to use very high frequencies with high intensity, huge antennas to communicate to very long distances, okay? So at high frequency, you need big antennas to communicate to long distances, okay? When the frequency is lower, you need smaller antenna to communicate to high distances, okay? As you will reduce the size of the antenna, and because the frequency is higher, the distance will go down, and the amplitude, the overall watt that's been generated out will go down, okay? So number one, the fact that we'll use 5Gs and the fact that there will be many antennas, it's actually good for us because the cell phone itself will transmit less. And what you get from a cell phone right now transmitting is 10 times or maybe 100 times more carcinogenic and more dangerous than 5G. I have zero doubt about it, but that's my view. What I will suggest for any person that's watching it is just go and understand what does it mean wavelength, what does it mean frequency, how do you calculate the overall energy that your body observes, and what does it mean when a wave becomes dangerous to a body. And you will see that it's not true that it's new technology. What's new about this technology is not the method of transmission, but how intelligent they manipulate the data that is on the waves, that modulated on the wave. That's actually what's intelligent about it. It's very extremely fascinating method, simple by the way, but very advanced way of working with the data. But in terms of the transmission, there's nothing new. Nothing new. It's like 50 years old. Nothing new with 5G. You really have to understand it. There's nothing new. What's new is the way that the manipulating the data, etc., but it has nothing to do with the danger for the body. Can it become a weapon? You can make anything into a weapon, not with this hardware, not with the hardware that they're installing right now. There is no way with the hardware that they're installing right now that it will become a weapon. That's my overall. But again, I will suggest that you will go and learn it. Don't listen to an expert. Don't listen to me. Go and understand how it works yourself. Not 5G is dangerous. Just figure out what does it mean wavelength? What does it mean frequency? Do you know how to measure frequency? What frequency is the effect of? How much energy you've got from a light frequency? How much energy you've got from electromagnetic frequency? How do you calculate it? Learn that. Put the numbers on the formula. It's simple. Once you do that, you will see that you will not be worried, and you will hear those experts are talking. You will hear a totally different music than an unmusical ear. You know, like when you have someone with ear that is not a musical ear, he doesn't really hear the music. Same thing. All of a sudden, you will develop a musical ear. Okay.
Good. So
Thank you.
The addition to that point was about mass surveillance. I know that a few countries are now adopting small measures towards surveillance. You know, for instance, Israel. Looking really watching the population and seeing their movements, and all in the for the purpose of prevention of further spread of coronavirus. But as history has proven, once the emergency is over, it doesn't necessarily mean that the surveillance is over. So,
yeah.
How do you suppose we go about actually, I suppose, educating each other about the dangers of mass surveillance, and how do we potentially, what is maybe the direction we should be going?
Okay, So first of all, this mass surveillance shows you that they don't need chips. Because let's say that they install the chip, what's the difference? Same thing. It's like you're holding a cell phone. But the fact that the chip is in your body, you can take it out if you're really a criminal and you want to take it out. So they don't need the chip, okay? That's not the purpose. The problem with mass surveillance is that you have some freedoms, and those actions take away your freedom. So the question is really, what's the consideration of the people? What's more important, freedom or health? That's really the question. It boils down to this simple question. What's more important, your freedom or your health? If you think that your health is more important than your freedom, then you will accept those kind of measures. And I will ask you, will you go to war for your country? Probably you should say no, because you're losing your health. You may get shot, you might get paralyzed. It's like really dangerous. Will you be willing to be in jail all your life? Healthy, 100% healthy, guarantee you will never have any disease all your life, but in a jail, very small jail, 2x2. No, because your freedom is more important than your body. Will you be willing to shut up and see someone dying, being shot, and not go and help him because you worry about your body? No, it's your freedom to help. It's your freedom to do what's right. So there is a danger you jump in and you're helping. Will you let your child drown, or will you jump in and save him? Of course you'll jump in, you'll save him, because if you will not do that, you may save your body, but you'll be in your spirit jail forever. So the answer is always freedom is more important. And because freedom is more important, being afraid of the coronavirus is, my view is that it's incorrect, and I'm willing to show people why, but I'm willing to accept every single person that thinks that it is the opposite viewpoint. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm saying it's my viewpoint. It's not that I'm right. It is my viewpoint, and I'm willing to show the data and expect other people to evaluate it, and I expect them to give me their data, and I will evaluate it, and at the end, any conclusion that they will have, I will respect. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you, Regan. It is almost midnight. It's the beginning of the day for you. So good morning.
Exactly. I'm off to work now.
You're going to work now. I know you. Yes. So good morning, and thank you very much for your time. And Amit, thank you for setting it up. And Shamaya, thank you for setting it up. And thank you, Gali and Anastasia and Nadine for joining us. And thank you for all the likes. So, mwah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.